Bruh, this is the best way to travel around the city, bro. You can't tell me otherwise. All the other ones, like the golf car, go-kart, whatever, it takes so long to activate, bruh. Like, this is just turbo, no turbo. Turbo, no turbo. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're flashing around the city, bruh. Except we ain't saving these hoes.
My nigga.
Alright, man, let's get into the video. Alright, bro, you clicked on this video because it's season 5 of NBA 2K and you're terrible at shooting. Okay, maybe you're not terrible, you suck. Nah, I'm playing, but hopefully these tips I'm about to give you guys can help you become a better, consistent shooter. It's season 5, y'all. We should not be struggling to shoot. And it's not your fault. 2K has tricked us this year. The shooting mechanics for all the previous 2Ks have always been the same. You could easily practice and learn your shot by muscle memory, but not this year. There's so many timing fluctuations when it comes to your shot that you can't expect it to be the same every time. So that leads me to my very first tip. Look at your player when you shoot. Now you're probably like, that's exactly what I do. No, I guarantee you, you don't. Because so many times I've heard people complain, oh my god, that shot was too fast or that shot was too slow. Yeah, because you're used to previous 2Ks just knowing your shot by muscle memory that you think it's going to be the same every single time. And there's so many other variables that play into this, like your stamina, your badges, if it's open or contested, if it gives you a dribble pull-up or a fade, or if it gives you the weird catch and shoot animation, like gives you an extra animation, or the worst one is when you're already holding the shoot button before you even catch the ball, and by muscle memory you just release it how you normally do and it ends up being like slightly early. So the only true way of shooting consistently is to just look at your player when timing your shot. Now these clips you guys are seeing, the first one was my new build 75 overall with an 81 3 ball, had like 2 bronze badges I took to boot camp event, and this rec gameplay is my 7-2 center with a 77 3 ball with like 11 total shooting badges. So if I can green consistently with these 2 builds, there's no reason why you can't. Now for my second tip, your badges. Now this is gonna vary depending on your build and your playstyle, but I'm gonna give you the main badges that I think every build and player should be using. The first badge, green machine. Now obviously the higher the better, but most of my builds range, their 3 ball ranges from 75 to 85, so I usually rock this either on silver or gold, but as you can see with this build I can get it on Hall of Fame. The next badge, volume shooter. Now obviously again the higher the better, but if you want to save some badge points you can put it on silver or gold, it still works effectively. The next badge, agent 3. Now some people might think this is just for dribble pull-ups and fades. It's actually not. You know, when you do a hot back and you shoot off of that, that's agent 3. Now obviously the higher the better, but if you can get this to silver, silver works pretty consistently. Now the last main badge I like to use is clutch shooter. Now what's great about this badge is that I'm pretty sure all builds have this as a tier 1 badge, so you don't spend that many badge points on it. I usually rock this on bronze or silver, but obviously the higher the better. Now you're probably looking at that definition like the final moments of the 4th quarter or any overtime period. That's not even that accurate, because I've seen this badge pop up when it's like the last few seconds of the 24-second shot clock, or the last few points when you're playing the 2v2 or 3v3 or whatever. So don't let the definition fool you. If it's a clutch type of shot, guaranteed this badge is gonna pop up. Now the rest is just personal preference depending on your playstyle. Like if you're a spot up shooter, Claymore is really good, corner specialist is really good. I prefer catch and shoot over both of them. If you like to take deep shots, obviously limitless range is really good. If you like to shoot phase or play off screen, blinders is good because most of the time your defender is probably going to be closing out on your side. If you're ball dominant, you like to dribble a lot, amp works really well. This also works if you run around without the ball to get open. So it really depends on your playstyle. Like I have a friend who uses Space Creator. I've never used Space Creator. As you guys can see, there's nothing in the core challenge because I never use it, but for him, he likes to do a lot of hop jumpers, so he uses this badge a lot. So it really depends on your playstyle, but in my opinion, these are the 4 main badges that I think every build should be using. Now for my third tip, your jump shot. First off, stop changing your jump shot, man. Use one jump shot and learn it. You're not going to get any better if you keep changing your jump shot. Secondly, use the bases that other people, other YouTubers have tested and proven to work really well. So if you're a 6'4" and under guard and you can get Steph Curry, your 3 balls high enough, use Steph Curry. I've also heard Trae Young works really well. Now if you're a smaller guard with a lower 3 ball, I suggest using Kevin Porter Jr. It's the smoothest and the fastest for lowered 3 balls for smaller guards. Now for my 6'5" to 6'9" builds, I like using LaMelo Ball. It's the smoothest and easiest time for me. And if you have a lower 3 ball, I suggest using Kyle Kuzma's. It's a smooth and fast base. And if you have an even lower 3 ball, I suggest using O'Shea Brissett. In my opinion, it's the best low 3 ball base. Now for my 6'10 and taller builds, again, O'Shea Brissett is a really good base, but if you have a high enough 3-ball, Tim Duncan is also a pretty good base. Now for your releases, is going to be all personal preference depending on how high or low your 3-ball is. One thing I do recommend when you guys are playing around with the releases is try using the same release for multiple builds. Like for all my 6'10 and taller builds, I like using Dirk Nowitzki or PJ Tucker. So even though I switch builds, I kind of know the release cue because I'm using one of these two releases. One thing I also do when messing with releases, I prioritize defense immunity over all the other ones, because closing out is so easy in this game that eventually you're going to take a contested shot, and with defense immunity, it's going to help you green those a little easier. Now a little side tip with your jump shots: learn your dribble pull-ups and your fades, because quick stopping and peeking is not the same this year. It's just way easier to pull up for a fade. A few pull-ups I recommend: I like using D Books. It's the easiest to time for me. I know a lot of people use normal 2 or Michael Jordan or Zach LaVine. If you're a 6'4 and shorter guards, you could use these, but I suggest that you use Trae Young. If you're a 6'10 and taller build, I actually use basic. You could use Kevin Durant or Dirk Nowitzki, but in my opinion, basic is the easiest to time, you know. But at the end of the day, it's all up to you. Just play around with these and see which one you guys are most comfortable with. Now my fourth tip, your settings. At this point is kind of obvious, but let's go through it anyways. The first two here, vibration and trigger effect, is all preference. I have them both off, but your shot meter right here, this should be off. You should not have this on. It's time to take off the training wheels. Personally, I think this messes up your shot because you're looking at the meter instead of looking at your player, and you actually get like a 4 or 5% boost when having this off. For shot timing, I have this for shots only. You could also put this on shots and layups if you like to time your layups or time your close shots or post hooks. If you use the Badge Pro Touch, you could put this on shots and layups. Just make sure to have it either on shots and layups or shots only. Now the last setting we'll go over is your shot timing release time. Now this doesn't change how fast or slow your jump shot is. This determines your release cue, when to release the ball during your jump shot. I use late on all of my builds. You could also use early. I don't really recommend very early or very late, but if you're comfortable using one of those two, go ahead. I mean, whatever is going to help you green more consistently. Now for my next tip, practice. I know it sounds redundant, you probably heard it over and over, but let me give you my secret way of practicing. Now you could come in here and start shooting around, that's fine, but what I like to do is I like to go to my badges and unequip all of my shooting badges. So when I'm shooting around, it's just me and just my raw jump shot. Now I could be completely wrong about this and badges don't even activate in here, but just to be safe, I unequip all of them and start shooting around. Now if you really want to challenge yourself, I recommend playing a My Career game with no shooting badges, but make sure to play it on Hall of Fame to get a better in-game experience. Whatever you do, I just suggest you practice your jump shot at least a few minutes before playing any other game mode. My last and final tip, momentum. Now I could be completely wrong about this, but I feel like the worse I play or the more bad shots I take, the more likely I miss those easy shots. So pick and choose your shots. Take rhythm shots, take open shots, just take good shots. And if momentum does play a factor into this, do your best to play well on both ends of the court, and not only will your shots start to fall, but your overall gameplay will automatically just get better. Now hopefully y'all learned something here today. Hopefully I've helped you become better shooters. Now I know there's a lot of things I didn't get to cover, so if y'all want a part 2, let me know, man. Leave it in the comments below. Anyways, man, as always, I hope you enjoyed your time here. You already know what to do. Like, subscribe, and turn on those bell notifications so you guys never miss a future video. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time. I'm out.